Make me lose with the unthinkable. Don't stop till you come first. Life too unpredictable. Take control of what you're worth. Wasting time, so give.
Hey again, Stitchy friends, Callie here, and I am behind the camera again today, everybody. Because I have a little bit of a surprise. I do believe I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I had a different whip other than the one that I had been working on. This whip was old. It was one that I had been working on for years actually, so it was more of a UFO instead of a whip, and I had not touched it in forever. Well, on New Year's Eve I picked it up and I started working on it. This is actually the book that it came out of. I actually picked this up at my local stitching store, and I got this because I know my mom really loves old church hymns and everything, so I figured I would stitch her one of these. This one is "'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus." That is the one I've been working on, and I wanted it to be a surprise because I know that I had said that I was going to only be working on the picture for my mom, the one that I had made a pattern of myself. Well, I wanted to get a finish for 2017, so dun da da da. Can I show it? Can it fit? Let's see. Here's the top. There we go. Kinda. It's hard to show you at this angle, but what I wanted to show you guys, since I did get this done, I was really wanting to get it done on New Year's Day, but it just didn't work out. It didn't happen. I had more to do on it than I thought, so I couldn't get it done. But that's okay. It took me like a whole week past New Year's Day, but I finally got it done. Hallelujah. I finally got it done. And, you know, it feels so stinking good to get a FFO done, which it's not really a FFO yet. It's more like a FO, but I'm working on it, getting there. So, I already got my husband to go and buy me a frame for it. So, I figured I would take this opportunity to go ahead and show you all how I wash and get everything set up for when I frame my own items. I'm going to start out from the very beginning. Pretty much all I've done is I took the tape off. I actually had some blue painter's tape around the edges of this project. I actually have a new way of preventing my projects from unraveling now, instead of using tape, which I will show all of that in another video. But pretty much all I've done is just taken the tape off, and I have, of course, finished all of my stitching. The first thing I do before I get ready to wash a project is, because I have cats, I need a lint roller. And all I do is just take the lint roller and go over it really good, front and back. But that is what I do first. And even if you don't have pets, that's probably not a terrible idea to just run over it with a lint roller really quick before you wash. emesis basin here with just some tepid water in here, lukewarm. It's not hot, not cold, just, you know, pretty much room temperature. Before I do anything, I always, let me see. I don't have a rag on me because I'm not very prepared at the moment, but I do have a paper towel here. So this is what I usually do. I will just take usually a rag, like a white rag. You don't want to use a colored rag, just a white washcloth, and I usually dip it in the water, and you just want like a little corner. And what I do is I will go over my colored threads and I give it just a little bit of a rub. And the reason I do this is because if my threads are going to bleed, then they'll bleed onto this washcloth, and you'll know that the threads that you used are not color fast, that you can't wash the project because it will ruin it. If you test it like that on your colored threads, it will give you a heads up on to whether or not you're going to have an issue with it bleeding into your fabric. So, of course, I use DMC thread, so that wasn't a problem, but I always double check just in case. It's always good to do that. So I have this special no rinse delicate wash, and I got this from, it wasn't 1-2-3 Stitch, but it was an online stitchy company. Everything Stitch or something like that. I'll leave it down in the description box. I'm going to go ahead and put this right in here. And this is actually a no rinse wash, which is really nice because that way I won't have to worry about rinsing my project. And I guess I could read this to you. Check for color fastness, fill basin with tepid water, add Eclan and article, squeeze suds through, soak for a few minutes, no need to rinse, lay flat to dry away from direct heat and sunlight, also available in eucalyptus, grapefruit, and lavender. And there is the phone number and the company's website if you would like to try this out as well. Alright, so I'm going to agitate that water a little bit and just get it all in there, all mixed up in the water before I put it in. Just gonna but I'm just going to let that sit. Now if there was some sort of problem, like a stain that I really needed to get out, the only thing that I'm going to do as far as scrubbing or rubbing of any kind whatsoever is going to be like around the edges, and only if I have like a ring from where I had a hoop or something like that. Otherwise, I definitely am not going to be rubbing or doing, you know, very, very little agitation, as little as possible agitation on my actual stitches. I don't want to loosen any of my stitches, and I certainly don't want to cause any issues with fading. I'm probably going to let this sit for anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. Okay, everybody, I am back. So it's been about 30 minutes, and I am now going to take a look at it and see. The water is cooled off now, and it looks pretty good. Now, what I'm going to do is move this over so that I can get my towel here. I usually use just a clean towel, as long as it's a light colored towel. This one's blue. It doesn't matter as long as it's a clean towel and it's not something that might bleed into your project if it gets wet. So I usually like to use light colors, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my towel, my clean towel here, and I'm going to take my project and I'm just going to hold it above the basin here, and I'm going to let it drip a little bit, and then I'm going to lay it flat onto my towel. Let me move this. Okay. I'm going to take my project to the end of my towel here, and then I'm going to take my towel and I'm going to roll the towel up just like this. And you want to kind of pull and keep everything as straight as you can as you're doing this, so that you have as few wrinkles as possible. Now you are going to have some wrinkles, it's just kind of inevitable, but that's okay because I'm going to show you what I do to iron it. Takes a lot of the water out. What I like to do is then sit my project over another towel that I have off camera, and I'm going to turn this towel around to the other side, and I've got this side that's dry, and I'm going to take my project and I'm going to lay it down again, and this way, this is wet back here, but this is dry, and that is now getting less and less damp. Once I've rolled this up quite a few times and I've gotten all of the excess water out that I think I can, I will go ahead and unroll it. I don't like to leave it rolled up in here because even if you have a completely dry towel with it rolled up like that, it's not going to dry as fast, and because it's all sealed up in there, it can cause problems with it taking on the color of your towel. So even with just rolling it up to get the excess water out, that's why I always use a light colored towel. But I definitely would not keep it rolled up, not even for a little while. That's just me, but I wouldn't do it. So anyways, now what I will do is I will leave this laying out flat and put it in a safe place away from my cats. It's late right now, so I'll probably leave this sitting out overnight, and then I will come back tomorrow morning and I will make a separate video, kind of a part 2, for showing you guys how I iron and how I stretch it and how I will frame it and make this into a completed FFO. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss that part 2, be sure that you subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, a like. So be sure to keep an eye out for that video, everybody, and I hope this was helpful to you all. So I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!